menu, and from your Mac you're getting to it from the QuickBooks and then Preferences. So there's 4 changes. Different, captions is new, reporting has changed, and IPN is new. So 2 of them are new and 2 of them have changed. And we have 7 changes in our features. Here's this, those 7 changes. We're going to tackle the first 5 today. Attached back up here. To go through those in our next step. December 18th, we're going to do the add multiple lists. I think we'll have and then swing back maybe to the catch docs and how we might do the troubleshooting around that and answer some questions as people have to really use the product. Work with everything and sort of try and break it, and then after a while you can just review it. A lot more concrete questions. So reconciliation, that's the big improvement. We've got the undo last and being able to sort, so that's really good. Go ahead and just run into product here. We talked in the overview about what we to drill out a little bit this time and think about, well, what if I was converting, how would that work? So in this file that we're seeing here, this is one of the simple company files, nonprofit company file that came from Windows 2012 in the R11 release. And so I did a bank rec on it and then converted it over here to Mac 13 to see what would happen with the reconciliation features. Because it's always been a problem, the round tripping. And what we're hearing is that this year this problem is fixed altogether, and I think there's some limitations and some caveats that may be the case. So I'm going down here to reconcile, and the account that I am working with is the cash and operating, and the first thing you notice is that this window pops up. So if you're in 2012, it does not look like this at all. You don't get the statement date first. You see everything below this first, and not this window here where you get to put in your statement dates. So that's one of the major new improvements, and it means retraining some of your clients. So for those of us who've been using Windows, it's really nice. For some clients, it's been a little bit like, oh, wait, I already knew how to do it the other way, whereas for me, it feels like a wonderful improvement. So I came in here, and after round tripping this file, really excited to see the beginning balance was accurate and that I could hit the undo reconciliation and I would get this window saying that it would work. It would, it's got the current balance in it, and then it's got the previous beginning balance. Then I went back over to my QuickBooks for Windows file, and I noticed that the previous beginning balance in that file is different than what the Mac file is going to undo the reconciliation to. So having said all that, we have so many improvements, I think, in the transfer from the round trip and the bank rec coming through. The button is there looking like we could undo, and it would take us back to a beginning balance, but not the exact same beginning balance. See, the previous balance here is 27,000, and then on the Mac file, or the Windows file, it was 28,000. So I think that's, we've still got some, you can expect that a round trip is going to be able to withhold that. But it does remember the last bank reconciliation report. That's there, and so that's great. And then having the current balance come through. But you just can't expect, I think, at this point that the undo bank reconciliation button is going to work on a round trip file. That's just too much. But it is wonderful that we get the statement date right away instead of entering it when the reconciliation is completed, because that's always been such a problem. And we also get the ability to sort. If there's transactions in here, we can sort just by clicking. And then we've got the hiding, super wonderful to be able to hide. So we've looked at those features, and what I wanted to do today was really just ask what happens when you round trip, and where does that go through. So any questions on that? Comments? Anybody tried something different? Anybody tried the undo rec and it worked after doing a round trip? And I think what would be nice now would be to test it the other way around. Go ahead and round trip from Mac over to Windows and look at the undo bank rec and see what happens there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close out of the reconciliation improvements. And then I'm going to take us into look at the preferences. Remember, we get to them from QuickBooks, so that'll always make you pause for a minute when you're first converting over. And then we've got our attachments, brand new, Intuit Payment Network, brand new. We've got changes in backup, and then we've got changes in reporting. And what I want to look at right now is the attached documents. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the attachments in this file, and you'll notice there's no attachments library. The library is where the attached documents are stored. So the very first thing that you're going to do when you set up your client with the attachments is to indicate where on your computer or your network or any browsable drive you're going to be creating that attached documents library. And once you select it, it's basically there. If I click Show All, I'm back to where I can see all of the preferences. And then if I click in the attachments here, now you can see the attachments library has been set. So that's the first step, is setting that library and deciding where on the system overall you're going to be storing this information. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up a different file. And we're going to look at attachments there as well. Here's my icon bar. So I'm going into the preferences and I'm opening up the attachments. And again, no attached documents library. So that's once you basically touch the preference one time, then it stays in there, even though I haven't uploaded anything. So again, if I go back into that last file that I was just in, and this was the round-tripped file from Windows, and now I go into the preferences and into the attachments, it's got that library set. So I just wanted to show you that. It's just as soon as you basically select a library, then it's going to stay set in the preferences. And then you could change it to a different library if you wanted to. So there's no attached library, and I can create a new library. Okay, so I wanted to sort of show you how that works in the preferences. And let's see, I'm going to go back to my sample file here. And now let's look at actually using the attachments. So here's my sample file. Again, this was the one that I transferred over. And looking at Garrett printing, the attachments clip is over here on the right. And right now there's nothing attached. So I can click on the attached documents icon. and that'll open up the library here, or it'll open up anything that's already been attached to this document. Now I can click the Add to add an actual document. And this document can be anywhere in my hard drive. I can browse to it anywhere. And I can select whichever I want, basically. It's already got to be in the hard drive. That's the only thing. It's just already got to be there. And once it's there, you browse to it. You can enter keywords. And then once it's attached, notice that paperclip now has it's got a piece of paper next to it. So that's what that's meant to look like. So the paperclip is attached to something. So there is that bill. And I could attach another document as well. But before I do that, I want to walk you into the attachments library from within QuickBooks. So we looked at how you set the preference, which is to determine where the attachments are going to be stored in your hard drive or wherever you can browse to. Now we can also view the attachments library from the company menu in the Attachments Center. So we go to a company and then down to Attachment Center. And there we'll see every attachment that we've uploaded. And we'd be able to highlight these and export them if we wanted to, or delete them from the center. So everything that you've uploaded into your Attachment Center is available here in the Attachments Center, which you see by going to Company and Attachment Center. So individual attachments you're going to see by clicking on the paperclip, and then to see all of the company attachments, you're going to go to the Attachment Center. So you're going to get this on basically all of your forms in QuickBooks. Here's an invoice, and again, here's that we've got here. Let me open up one that's already filled out. Here's one, no attachment. I click on the attach. I click on the add. I browse to wherever my file is. And I can put keywords if I want. And that's about it. It's kind of, you can actually take a quick view of your attachments from here. And then again, that paperclip has a piece of paper underneath it. That's what that's meant to look like. So now when I go to my Attachment Center, I should see two attachments in there, and I can see what they're attached to. Now I think that is about everything you need to know. I think that's about everything you need to know about how the Attachment Center works, I think. Can you let me know if you have any questions? I'll switch over to the GoToMeeting here. Did I miss anything? As far as we know, it's an unlimited number of attachments, you know, based on your space. Okay, so again, it's in the, you're going to go to preferences when you first create a new file or you first start using the attached documents. Start by going in preferences, decide where you're going to store that attachments library, and then you start actually uploading documents through forms. So once you've got them uploaded, you're going to see them here in the Attachment Center, and you could export and delete them here. You can't upload them here through the center. You literally upload them with attached to a form, an invoice, a credit card bill, so attached to an actual form. All right, let's look at the payment network. I believe that is next. Oh no, backup. So into the preferences, we've just got a couple of changes here in the backup. So we don't have the iDisk anymore, and Mac. So what we can do though is now we can back up our files every so often, and I don't recommend my rule of thumb is back up as often as you don't want to have to repeat what you were just doing. These snapshots shouldn't take a lot of space in the hard drive. My favorite is automatically back when closing. And the only time that this really kind of bites you in the butt is when you're really between a lot of company files on the same day. And you're not closing one and opening one, because of course with the Mac we don't get to have the multiple company files open at once. But this is, I think, really good practice for your clients to have automatic backup file with closing, and you select wherever you want to save that file here. Last backup is not a good idea, and then you can add a password to the backup so that when you go to open it, it asks for a password. So these are our new preferences in the backup. We can encrypt, and then we can set the backup so that it's backing up on a regular basis. Any questions on the changes in the backup? I do like being able to back up wherever wherever I want to, and hopefully you've got a folder that's syncing with the cloud somewhere. And especially a lot of Mac clients are out there working on their laptops. Really dangerous. They lose them, or they have QuickBooks open and they lose all their power. And so I think the backups can designate that folder and have it happen automatically is ideal. Let's take a look at the Intuit Payment Network. This is one of our new preferences, and it's the same payment network that you use when you're doing the Windows. And the first thing you'll need to do if your client isn't already signed up is sign up. And I went through this process myself. It was really pretty simple, and I have another company file ready to go here. Unfortunately, there's my backup. I did not have, I don't think I have a backup, a payment to receive to show you, but I can at least walk you through the windows. So here we've got, if you open up a company file that has the Intuit Payment Network associated with it, you're going to get this message about allowing this access to the keychain. And then, I wanted that invoice open. So we'll take us back into the preferences here. And with this one, you can tell that it's set up. So the file we were just looking at, there was no email address here. So you still see the sign up, so it kind of looks like you haven't signed up. But if you see the email address in here, then you're set up. So that was the difference. There was the email address in there. And then this invoice has the payment network link on it. Now, the payment network link itself doesn't actually print out on the invoice, unfortunately. I was really hoping that it would, and then I'd be able to just PDF this out to folks, because I like to do that. But it doesn't print out on here as far as I've been able to see, even with modifying the template. But I'd love it if somebody could prove me wrong and show me how to get that done, because I'd love to do that. Anybody been able to accomplish that? Not hearing anything yet.
Shelly, I
So
thought I
let's
had
see.
done
So
that.
this one's got the link.
So
Okay.
maybe we can follow up with that on LinkedIn because I can't run a demo on that right now. But it
Do you think? Yeah. Do you think you edited the template and maybe got it to show up on the
maybe
template
that's what
somehow?
I did.
That's what I was wondering if I could get it
Yeah.
on the template somewhere. Oh wait, there it is. Huh, as soon as you say it. So that will pay online. That should do it. Yay.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay,
I
Victoria,
didn't
there it
think
is.
I.
You didn't think you
Okay.
were crazy?
No. Yeah.
It's always that thing when somebody's looking at you, you figure it out right away. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. I
Okay.
swear I can see that there. So
Yeah.
there, so now let me walk through that again. What I did was edited the template and added the pay online message to the print. It was on the screen. I knew it had to be there. So now it's on the print. So now let's test that out. Save that and give it a quick preview, and there it is. Great. So there's the link for the client to pay online. And they don't actually have to create an account. They'll get a link, and then down on the bottom right it'll say pay without creating an account. They should be able to click on that, enter their credit card information, and then that's going to come through for you. And I was really hoping, again, that I would be able to receive one for you because a window pops up right here and you can see the payment that applies to the invoice. But unfortunately, I just didn't get that far, in part because I didn't figure out how to get that thing to print on there. So we've made some progress for me anyway. I think that is all I can think of on the Intuit payment. Oh wait, I wanted to create a new invoice for you just to show you how to put that on there. So I'll just do another one to my Davy Media. And notice the link. And then Victoria showed me how to do this. Click on that right there. And then it seems like, I don't know, you wait a little while, you hit the save button. What is it, Victoria?
I think it has to go back to the Intuit servers and actually generate the link. So
Okay.
it would
so you give it a minute.
depend on you give it a second and it creates it. If you hit the save button, sometimes that's how I usually generate them.
Save to it. And then come back to it.
Yeah, because you can't save and continue to edit the way you can on the Windows version. But
there's my button.
yeah, I'm not seeing the bottom of your invoices screen. I don't know if anybody else is, but that's where the IPN.
It should be like right here in blue. So it seems like it's been, there we go. It's been wait a couple minutes and then it works. So
yeah, I haven't, maybe the Intuit servers are slow today or something. I haven't had it take that long, so. Everything's slow today.
Everybody's almost on vacation. Oh, we're getting ready for the turkey. Okay, so this is the button, and it might be a little bit of wait, but I don't think you have to hit the save button. It seems like you wait a little bit and then it just appears. Does that sound right, Victoria?
Yeah, I think you wait a little bit. I've always just gone ahead and hit the save because I'm in a hurry. So, and then gone on to the next thing and then printed it or whatever. But
now let's try it one more time.
if you send an email, it will also send the link in the email if you're emailing it through Mac Mail or through the Mac version of Outlook. It'll create the the outgoing email message with that link in it as well. But I know Shelly doesn't use that, so we can't.
But I can show you what it looks like.
Yeah.
So it'll be right here, and it'll have the link right there on it for you. So I counted to 10, and I'm still kind of waiting. And I did hit this button once. So, and it could be going over GoToWebinar is really slowing down this whole process, because this is a secure link that ties right out to your particular invoice. It sure is slow, though. It's back there. Okay. One more time. So now that's not gray. Hit save. It is just slow. But it does eventually work. You just wait patiently.
Yeah, and not usually that slowly either. So I don't know what's going on, whether webinar is slowing down your computer or it's Intuit today, and my internet is even slower than yours today. So I'm not going to.
True, but we've all had a chance to take a look at what this link looks like, and if this customer had paid, then we would be able to receive the payment through the IPN and have it linked to the invoice, and we'll just have to do that next time. We're just about out of time here, so I'm going to take us into the reporting. That's our last change that we're covering today. So I'm in the preferences, and this one's really pretty minor. That makes a big difference for some people, which is that we can choose now to display, refresh the reports automatically. So if you're doing sales tax liability, I think this is where it comes in most often. You've got cash basis reports that are really running slow. You can choose whether or not to have the reports refresh automatically. So that's kind of a nice little, I would say a courtesy little change that we got this year. That is really helpful. So I want to thank you all. We've got it down to our 30 minutes. I'm very happy about that. We're going to keep doing this every month, and once we get past the new features in the 2013, then we're going to look at job costing and troubleshooting sales tax liability and other fun things that us QuickBooks for Mac professionals get to deal with. So I'll see you all on December 19th, same time, same place. Bye.